Okay, so I cleaned off my phone screen pretty good this time, and this is round 2. This is I can't remember what it's called. Like I can't remember for the life of me what it's called. It's it's called an update. It was not that hard, but this is oh my god, this is an update. And everything's good now. I think that's the funny thing about it, is that everything can be like the worst it's ever been in my entire life. And then it can just like randomly switch, and then it'll be like, oh, everything's fine again. So in my current moment, everything's been fine. And this is my kitchen. It's phenomenal. And everything is just making me kind of happy right now. Like, honestly, this is kind of turned into like a get ready with me to go to sleep. Okay, but let's do a chat with me while I make tea. So, I guess, I don't know what I can chat about, but I mean, there's a lot of to chat about, and I guess this is super like mainly BPD focused. So I guess we're gonna be talking about how my life has been with BPD, and I guess my struggle, or I don't know, I'll figure it out. I think the first question a lot of people would ask is like, what is BPD? And for short, it's BPD, because I don't like to use that word. It's kind of scary. It's called borderline personality disorder, and it's really hard for me to explain to people, but usually how I explain it is like, I have really big feelings, where it's like I feel everything to the tippy top of Mount Everest to like the depths of the Mariana Trench, and every single thing in between. Whereas people can feel things to like the tippy top of a rooftop to the bottom of a sandpit, maybe. I'm not sure. But like, it's like big extremes, and the fundamental thing, like the number one thing, is it makes life hard to live. That's the thing with like every mental health issue, is if it makes your life dysfunctional, then it, like, you probably have it. Like, everybody feels the same feelings that I feel, but my thing is I feel them to an extreme extent where they make my life so much harder to live. Like, for example, with my job, I'm a cashier, and the way that BPD makes life hard as a cashier is because if even one thing goes wrong in my day, I kind of get destroyed in a sense. Like, my whole day kind of erupts from there. It's like ruined, and I'm not sure how to fix it. It makes having a job a lot harder, because things affect me so easily. Like, even going out in public spaces, like going out with groups of people, kind of, the word is kind of, I'm gonna get to it, I'm getting to it, triggers me. That's the word, triggers me. And I find it weird to say that word, because it was a big thing to make fun of people and call them like triggered and whatnot. And now I find myself in the position where I'm the person that's being triggered, I guess, which is weird. But I guess I never thought I'd have to deal with it up to this long. Like, it's been, since I can remember, it started happening probably when I was around, like, it started happening as in I've always had big feelings, but the big feelings becoming a problem around like 10. And I honestly thought it stopped happening, but turns out it didn't. And I really thought it would be like non-existent by the time I turned 18. And now I'm freshly 18, and it kind of seems like a lot of things have gotten worse for me, which is interesting. But what am I gonna do about it? Not much I can do. But yeah, I guess this is I didn't even get to show you what I did to my iced tea. Okay, listen. Regular Tetley tea bag. I love Tetley tea. My boyfriend taught me how to make this, so hopefully I'm doing it right. And then I like a lot of sugar in mine, but most people like don't. I just like to oversweeten everything. So I put 3 spoonfuls of sugar, and then I usually add maple syrup on top of that. So actually, and then obviously you have to boil water. This is how he makes iced tea at home. I'm not really sure if I'm doing it right, but then I'm gonna put it into this cup. Okay, cool. And then I have to let that steep for like 2 minutes, which is nice. Oh, maybe I can start with another story while my tea is steeping. I can probably talk about the first time I remember having something I'd call an episode. Was probably when I was younger, and I think they started really bad during quarantine. And it might have been the beginning of quarantine when I was like 13 or 14, and I started dissociating, and I was like confused as to what was real and what was not. And I ran to my dad and I started crying, and I was telling him I like people were after me, and a lot of like paranoid kind of thinking that I still do today. That's like not as bad. Still very in my head, but I wouldn't consider it like as bad as it used to be. But that's when he told me that I sounded schizophrenic, and I think it scared me because that's such a big word. And then a couple weeks ago, I was reading in this book that the doctor recommended. That is the doctor who treated me in the hospital. That is another story for another time, over probably more tea. But I got this book, and my new therapist told me, yeah, that book sucks, but in the book it kind of showed how BPD can kind of come up and look similar to schizophrenia because of like the paranoia. I'm no doctor, I'm probably not saying this right. Sometimes I barely know how to explain BPD, but at the time it made sense, and now it makes sense that I also do not have schizophrenia, and that I just have borderline personality disorder. I mean, I think I should start using the term, like, I am not borderline personality disorder, but borderline personality disorder, it isn't me, it like has me, you know, like, I am not it is not me, but it's kind of got me in its grasp, and I don't know how to get it out. And really, is there any kind of getting out that I see for myself? No. But I watch a lot of people who have been in recovery for like years in functional recovery, and some of them don't even qualify for BPD symptoms anymore, which is something that I still have to talk about in another video. My favorite thing, the 9 BPD symptoms. But basically, to qualify for BPD, you have 5 of the symptoms, and then if you don't have those, like 5 or more symptoms, and then basically if you have like, I guess 5 or less symptoms, you don't qualify anymore. And that sounds really nice. Like, that sounds like the dream. Because I never know where my feelings are going or when they're gonna stop. So right now that sounds like the dream, but I'm gonna have to do with where I am right now. Next step of the iced tea. Put ice in it and mix it around. Now he said, okay, so I did pour the hot stuff into this cup. Was that safe? No comment. I'm not actually sure about that. But then he said to put ice in it and then put water. And then more ice. So I'm putting water. I don't have a fancy tap. I just have a tap that's regular. So to put more water. And then he said to put more ice once this ice has melted. So this ice is gonna melt. And then put more ice into it. Okay. Hold on, I'm waiting for the ice to melt. Okay, the ice has melted enough. It's just tiny cubes now. Taste test. It is not sweet enough. Alright. That means I have to grab my trusted bottle of maple syrup. And the fridge is a mess, which means the next video is gonna be you and me cleaning up the fridge. You watch me clean up the fridge. And then you're just gonna... Yeah, that sounds like enough. Just eyeball it. Just eyeball it. And then I'd say vigorously stir. Trying not to spill, even though your hands are like disgustingly sticky. Vigorously stir. Taste test again. Oh, see, and when you're saying, oh, because it doesn't taste that bad anymore. Put it back in the fridge. I feel like what would be good is lime juice or lemon juice. And would that make it disgusting? Hopefully not. Like, I feel like it just needs to be a little bit zesty. Just a little bit zesty. Yeah, see, that's pretty good. But no, it needs to be a little more zesty. Alright. And with a little more juice. Awesome. Now it's really coming together. Grab your ice cubes. I'm just gonna drop them in there. And then put your lid on. And we're done. This has been making iced tea with Josephine and updates. Thank you very much for watching.